Welcome to Carwale, and today we are getting up close and personal with the much awaited 5-door Force Gorkha. It has shed its 3-door skin for a more practical and family friendly avatar, and in the process it has gotten more power and more features. But the real question is, in this transformation, has the overall capabilities of the Gorkha been restricted or enhanced? And for that, we'll be taking you through 5 very important questions over the course of this video. And those are: is the 5-door Gorkha more practical and usable? Can this be the only car in your garage? How is it to drive off the road? How is it to drive on the road? And the most anticipated question, how does this one stack up against the 3-door Mahindra Thar? But before we dive into it, why don't you subscribe to Carwale to stay updated on all the automotive content, and click on that bell icon to stay notified each time we put out a new video. Now let's begin with how practical and usable is the new 5-doors Gorkha. Now straight up, what's new are these extra set of rear doors, longer wheelbase and added length. The wheelbase is up by 425 mm at 2825 mm. And now these extra set of doors give you a significant easier access to the second row seats. And this wide opening gives you access to the bench type seats. Now, as opposed to the 3-door, the entry, ingress and egress is relatively easier. Now, to give you a quick comparison, we also have the 3-door version with us. Now, to access the second row in the 3-row version, it is through the tailgate. So, we actually need to go open the tailgate. There's a footstep here and onto the second row seats. Now, these seats, they are front facing, and these are bolted on the wheel well that give you more space between the seats, good visibility outside, and as part of the safety kit, you also get 3-point seat belt for both these captain seats. Onto the boot space of the 5-door Gorkha. Now, unlike the 3-door, there are 2 captain seats here that eats up into the cargo space. However, there is some space left where you can keep small duffel bags or probably grocery bags here. But besides that, there is very limited and close to no boot space. However, Force tells us that these seats can be removed to free up space. Now, as comparison, the 3-door Gorkha has much more space. You can actually load bags on both the sides. However, these have to be cleverly loaded to allow free passage to the rear passengers. Now, continuing with the practicality aspect, this is the USB space of the 5-door Gorkha, which is the bench type seats in the second row. Now, it is offered as a 7-seater, 2 plus 3 plus 2 seating configuration. And we have tested this. You can actually sit 3 people very comfortably here. However, there are some niggles and there are some things which we would like to point out. These seats, they are not split, they cannot be reclined, and it's a bit too upright for our liking. However, for the rear passengers, you do get quite a few features. You get dedicated aircon vents with blower controls, 2 USB charging ports, and because these are not split, you also get 2 cup holders here. The third row seats on the Gorkha is a thoughtful addition. Getting through in is through the tailgate, which opens sideways, and you enter these front-facing captain seats. These are large and as comfortable as the front row seats, and you can even tuck your foot below the middle seat. You also get these 2 bottle holders, 3-point seat belts, and a good visibility outside. However, since there is a tight space between the seats and the tailgate, these do not get a recline function like on the 3-door version. While the standard safety features include dual airbags, ABS with EBD, and the new middle row offers additional seating, it's important to note that the middle passenger misses out on a headrest and a 3-point seat belt, something to consider. Now on to the second question, to know if the Force Gorkha can be the only car in your garage. And for that, you literally have to climb inside the Gorkha as it is extremely tall, thanks to Force Motors to give a side step as standard in this car. Now there are four significant features that are new inside the cabin of this 5 doors Gorkha. The first one here is the 7-inch fully digital TFT instrument cluster. Gone are the analog dials and you get a colorized instrument cluster. Now you don't have any controls on the steering wheel. That means both infotainment and the instrument cluster have separate controls. You also get a tire pressure monitor which is well integrated inside the instrument cluster. The infotainment system, this one is new as well and it is bigger at 9-inch. It is by Nippon and while it does almost all the job done, it also gets mirroring Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, the connectivity is not very smooth and you need to download a third-party app to smoothly mirror your phone onto this. You also get a typical Android interface, Bluetooth music system, USB music system, and the overall usability is just fine, but it does give you an aftermarket feel. Also new is an electric adjustment for the side ORVMs, and along with rear parking sensors, you now get a reverse parking camera. The cabin prioritizes function over form. The materials used on the dashboard feel hard and cheap. That's not all. Even the fit and finish inconsistencies are also apparent, and when you look closely at these panels, there are noticeable gaps here and there. On a similar note, some minor ergonomic issues emerged during our drive. The 12-volt socket and the USB port covers, for instance, wouldn't hold and kept popping out whenever you opened them. For a touch of modern convenience, the Gorkha features follow me home headlamps and cornering function for better nighttime visibility, and a powerful air conditioner to keep you cool even on the hottest expeditions. Plus, there's a bunch of homologated accessories to personalize your Gorkha and make it truly your own. The Force Gorkha rides on 18-inch alloy wheels that are wrapped with all-terrain tires, and this, coupled with retuned suspension, has also improved the ground clearance from 203 mm to 233 mm. And with this, there are two major evident differences. The first one is that the slow speed rides have been much more bettered. It is not as stiff as you would expect from a Thar, but it is not soft too either. Now talking about the ride quality at higher speeds. Firstly, the overall power band of the Gorkha is focused on the lower end. So it can pull from as low as 1000 rpm and it runs out of steam at 3000 to 3500 rpm. Given the ride qualities on higher speeds, broken roads, undulations, bumps, you don't have to slow down the Gorkha. You can simply glide over them and the Gorkha just takes it all with ease. The second point of highlight are the improved NVH levels. Now even though the power output has been increased, the NVH levels are very well contained. The engine does become quite noisy and you can hear it inside the cabin when it is run over 2000 to 2500 rpm, but other than that, the road noise, the tire noise and even the wind noise, that is very well contained. Now the third question on our list is how good the Gorkha is off the road. Well, that is something which the Gorkha likes to do a lot, off-road trails. Now there is the biggest difference in this aspect. The Gorkha earlier used to get a manual low-range transfer case, which is now replaced by an electronic unit. This electric unit knob is situated right next to the manual gearbox, and we have tested this off and on the road, and we'll tell you first our off-road impression. The Gorkha's off-road credentials are undeniable. We are talking a mighty 233 mm of ground clearance with a water wading capacity of 700 mm. And it gets better with departure and ramp over angles of 37 degrees and 28 degrees respectively. That translates to some serious climbing and obstacle crushing ability, and we also had the opportunity to try it on the off-road course designed by Force Motors. As guided, we slotted to 4L for a steep incline that was a cakewalk for the Gorkha. The 4x4 system and ample torque propelled us up to the slope with no hesitation. Next, we hit a section that tested the Gorkha's articulation. Those fancy words mean how well the suspension can handle uneven terrain. And you can look at how those wheels stay planted, keeping us stable and comfortable. Finally, a series of bumps designed to punish any ordinary suspension. But the Gorkha just shrugs it off. The damping is fantastic, soaking up the impacts without complaint. Now with the off-roading done, it's time to take the Force Gorkha out on the tarmac to see how it fares on our city conditions. The Force Gurkha's diesel engine, which is a 2.6-litre diesel mill sourced from Mercedes, has now increased output. Earlier it used to produce 91 bhp, now the power has been increased by over 40 bhp and you get 138 bhp and 350 Newton meters of peak torque at your disposal. This is coupled with the same 5-speed gearbox and the low range transfer case that has been now improved for an electronic knob. Plus, it gets a nifty engine auto start stop function to improve fuel efficiency, especially in city commutes. The Gurkha offers selectable drive modes, Eco and Power. In Eco mode, things are relaxed, throttle responses are a bit dull, perfect for cruising and maximizing fuel economy. The steering also feels lighter, making maneuvering in tight spots easier. However, when you flip the switch to Power mode, this is where the Gurkha awakens. Power delivery becomes sharper, with strong torque available right from low revs. It's perfect for tackling challenging off-road terrains. Braking performance is decent considering the Gurkha's size and weight. The ventilated disc brakes up front and drum brakes at the rear provide adequate stopping power. And now it boils down to the final question. Which one is the better buy? Well, for that we have curated 3 advantages that the Gurkha has over the Thar and 3 advantages that the Thar has over the Gurkha. Starting with the Gurkha, it has a bigger wheelbase, 425 more than the 3-door version and much more than the Mahindra Thar. Second one is seating capacity. While the 5-door Thar is still few months away, this one is already offered with a 7-seating layout. It gets a bench seat, front-facing captain seats and is much more spacious than the existing Thar. The third difference which the Gurkha has is usable boot space. You can easily remove the bolts on the third row seats and the entire space can be used as luggage area. That gives a much more upper hand over the Thar. There's no denying that Mahindra boasts a stronger brand presence compared to the Gurkha. This translates to a wider service network, potentially easier resale value and a sense of familiarity for many buyers. When it comes to interior quality, the Thar offers a more modern and upmarket cabin experience with better quality materials compared to the Gurkha's utilitarian approach. This might be a significant factor for those who value a comfortable and stylish environment, even when venturing off the beaten path. The Mahindra Thar also offers a wider range of engine options and gearboxes, thus giving the buyer the flexibility to choose. Which one will you choose? The Gurkha or the 3-door Thar? Or will you wait for the 5-door one? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.